Alright, so we're back, and if you'll just go to the level 1 structure that we created in the previous video, you should have something that looks similar to this. And one thing I want to do before we start is to edit the view range on this particular view. So if you make sure you don't have any model items selected and go to the properties where it should say floor plan and scroll down. You might be up here, scroll down to where it says extents and click on the edit next to view range. And what this does is this controls how Revit is slicing the 3D model up. So this is giving us a primary range with the top offset from level 1 by 0 inches. The cut plane where it's slicing the 3D model is also set at 0 inches, and then it's looking down below to the bottom level. And this is really more set up for a framing plan for the first floor, so it's looking below the first floor to see the framing, which makes sense why you're seeing the floor here. But we really want to be able to see sort of the structure above and things below. So go ahead and set the top here. We'll set it to 7 feet. That's not overly critical for our purposes. Whoops. Let me get that view range back. So set the top to 7 feet and set the cut plane to 4 feet. Alright, and click OK. Now we're going to put the structure in. So if you go to your structure tab up here, you're going to have a column. So click on column, and in the pull down you should have a miscellaneous wide flange column 4x6. So left click on that, and we're going to make a new version of it. So go to the edit type right here and duplicate, and we'll name this M4x622. Okay, and then what we want to do is just change the depth and the width to an equal 4 inches. It says in the literature that the columns are 4x4, so it's possible they had them made exactly 4x4, which I'm guessing. So let's go ahead and do that, and you can click OK. Now the next thing you want to do is make sure that on your status control bar that it's set to height and not depth, and that the connection is set, the height connection is set to top of column. Alright, because it's going to start at level 1 where we are, but we want it to stop at top of column. Okay, so once you do that, we could come in and you could just start placing these individually at intersections, or come over here to the multiple, and you can say at grids and left click on that, and then all you have to do is just window across all those grids and hit finish. Right, and if you zoom in, you'll be able to see that those columns have been placed at all those grids. Now we don't need them at every single grid, so you can go to the modify to stop the column placement command, and then you could just window around all those extra columns that are right there. If you zoom in, you can see that they'll be selected, and hit delete. Okay, delete those extra columns. Now you can go and delete them in your 3D structure. So if I undo and get those columns back and go to your 3D structure, you should, oops, let's go ahead and delete that out of there. You should be able to see all of your columns have been created, and these are the additional ones here, and you can certainly come in here and select them and delete them as well. Okay, so let's take a look at this in a section view. So go to your level 1 view, and you can see there's a couple of sections in here. So just go ahead and double click on the blue end of this top section. Okay, and so when you zoom in, you're not really going to see the columns, which is actually a function of the detail level down here in your view control bar. They're actually there. You can see them if you hover over them, but they're only being displayed as single lines. So come down to your view control bar and change that detail level to medium, and you'll see those columns. You'll also see that there are different levels that I've set up that control the size of the column or where the column's going. Like we picked top of column for that column to be attached to there, and so that's working quite well. Now we also have some issues with our levels running over each other, so I'm going to fix that real quick. If you left click on these, there is a little break arrow, and then once you get a break arrow, you get these little blue dots that allow you to sort of move these guys around. right? So I can come in and pick that and sort of get, and they'll want to line up, as you can see as I pull these about. Okay, so you can separate them so you can actually read them. So you can see top of column goes to that. We're going to put our beams right here next into this space. So since these, if I select that, you're going to see that it is the top level is set to top of column. So if I were to change this top of column level to say 8 feet, right, every single one of those columns would follow it. Right, so it's pretty powerful, but can also be kind of restrictive depending on how you look at it. All right, so in the next one we're going to put the beams in. So see you in a minute.